Oh my god, there is so much wrong with this. You guys, this has never happened before. I actually want to cry. Hey guys! Today I'm gonna be reacting to Adultolescence by Gabbie Hanna. But first, if you're new around here, listen up, because I've got a little secret for you. I'm not just any reactor. I am Starlet the Starlet, and I'm a writer. So I don't just react, I review. And the way I do it is simple. If I like something, I add a point, starting from last video's total. And if I don't, I take one off. Now, as y'all can see, I've got a couple friends here with me. This is Angel, and this is Seth. Also, very quickly before we get started, I just want to say a huge thank you to you guys for 800 starlets. There's 800 of us. Thank you guys so much. Your support means absolutely everything to me. We are not far at all from 1,000. Oh my god, that'll be a dream come true. If we do get to 1,000, I've got a couple surprises for you guys. Right, let's jump in. I was gonna be like, at least this one's got a cute little rhyming scheme, but then I realized it's not a rhyming scheme, it's a cop-out. But then, plot twist, Gabbie starts talking to me, and she started insulting me. Insulting me! She said, "Why the heck are you taking demands from a nursery rhyme? Grow a backbone. If you can't even stand up to a poem written for preschoolers, you stand no chance in the real world. Start thinking for yourself. Damn." The first poem of this video is called Recycle. I'm a bit conflicted on this one because this is actually half decent. It has a better structure, a better rhythm, a better rhyming scheme, and it actually showed emotion, like genuine emotion, I think. If I'm honest, I don't think the things Gabbie says and does are always genuine. In my opinion, she lies and manipulates a lot. I was leaning towards giving this a point until I got to a line that says, "The game was always, how can I manipulate this lust to make it seem like something real?" Oh, by the way, this poem is basically about how Gabbie feels about a guy. She isn't exactly sure why she likes him, and she has a feeling she shouldn't like him, but she also doesn't want to lose contact with him. But that line I just read out, that was a little bit of a red flag, because she basically straight up admitted that she manipulates people. Except she calls it a game, which doesn't surprise me in the slightest. The more I'm thinking about this, the more of a red flag it's becoming. She knows that this is just lust, yet she wants to manipulate that and make it seem like something deeper. Like she likes him more than she actually does. For what? Just to get more attention from the guy? That's so shady. If you meet someone like this, run! Run for the hills! I'm talking from experience here. I've had a whole relationship where I was manipulated. So if you ever have a feeling that someone is toxic in this way, put as much distance between you and that person as possible, no matter what they say. Even if you're wrong, better safe than sorry. And from everything I've seen and heard of Gabbie, she is one of these people. Right, next poem has a picture of two girls talking to each other. Can you see that? The poem is in their speech bubbles. Again, I hate having to call this a poem. One of them says, "I have to go make a bottle and feed the baby." The other one says, "I have to go post a selfie and feed my ego." Wow. So Gabbie is obviously having a go at people who are like the second girl, implying that people who take loads of selfies are egotistical which isn't necessarily true for everyone. But she's also kind of saying that if you're not occupied with things like a baby or a spouse or a house, then all you do is selfish stuff like this, which again, not necessarily true. But the other thing is, half the time, Gabbie is that egotistical person on Instagram. I'd say a good 80% of the things she does is only to feed her ego. Oh, especially if we're talking like her DMs or her messages to people. Bruh. I've seen so many receipts that show that Gabbie will basically butt into someone's DMs or someone's conversation, even if it's not her place to and it has nothing to do with her. If she thinks you're talking about her, or if you've said something that triggers her in some way, you're gonna hear about it. And as Jessie Smiles showed us, she has no problem having a conversation with her own fans purely to make herself look like a better person, or to discredit someone else that's painting a bad image of her, even if those people are her supposed best friends. She has no problem tearing them down just to make herself look better. See, again, that's toxic. Does she really lack that much self-awareness? If so, big yikes. That's actually concerning. Anyway, next. The next poem is called Therapy. Oh my days. Oh my god, no. This poem is literally highlighting every toxic personality trait that Gabbie has. Wow. This poem is meant to be said to a therapist. So we readers are the therapist, I suppose. Okay, you guys, play along. Imagine that we are in a luxury, bougie therapist's office. Hi, I'm Dr. Starlet the Starlet, and I've been a psychologist for the last 15 years. How are you feeling today, Gabbie? Then Gabbie's like, how do I feel? The entire car ride here, I kept envisioning a gruesome head-on collision with a freaking semi, and I unbuckled my seatbelt just in case. That's how I feel. Oh my god, there is so much wrong with this. Not only is she being super patronizing with her tone, but Gabbie's trying to say that she is obviously so super depressed because on the way, she imagined getting into a car crash with a massive truck and she unbuckled her seatbelt just in case it happened. She was hoping that it happened. I'm sorry, but I have no sympathy for you, Gabbie. You're not necessarily depressed just because you thought of that, or because you undid your seatbelt and hoped it would happen. I can't help feeling that Gabbie is kind of romanticizing depression in this just a bit, because it really seems like she's just saying this so she can appear to be so edgy and quirky and everything, you know? Also, an actual therapist would not be able to know that. She cannot expect an actual therapist to just be able to tell that she imagined all this. They're not mind readers. You do actually have to talk to them. Side note, I really hope my psychologist never finds this video. Yes, I have seen a psychologist in the past, but he's made quite a few comments about how I'm not the most talkative client he sees. So I'm one to talk about this, but I stand by what I said, you know? I have every right to say that. This poem is trash, like all the others. That also reminds me, that psychologist I just mentioned, I remember having a conversation with him. I think my parents were there as well. And I was struggling with depression and self-harm. And he told me and my family that thoughts of self-harm, they're actually not uncommon. Like, even people who are perfectly healthy and have never had depression, even they occasionally have thoughts of self-harm, usually out of curiosity. And the example he gave was, you know, using trains, or the tube as we say in England. He said he's previously thought things like, I wonder what would happen if I jumped onto the tracks. And having that thought doesn't mean there's necessarily anything wrong with him. It's not always a guaranteed indicator of depression or other mental health problems. The point where it does start to become an issue is when you start trying to act on those thoughts. So Gabbie thinking about crashing into that truck might not mean anything. And same with unbuckling her belt. So she has no reason to be talking to this imaginary therapist like he's stupid and acting like he's missing the blatantly obvious. Now, it would be a different story if Gabbie were to do something like, you know, intentionally drive into the path of oncoming traffic. That's definitely not a good sign. But since that didn't happen, I'm taking a point off. Next poem's called Sup. Like, sup, bruh? Oh, snap. I actually kind of like this one. I don't know why I feel guilty about that. It's not that I want to dislike everything Gabbie wrote. It's just the fact that I've given her so much crap about her poems, yet here I am laughing at one because I like it. In this one, Gabbie basically says some dude really hurt her feelings, but he's the one she always talks to when her feelings get hurt. And then she's like, well, this is kind of awkward. Anyway, what's up? That's one of the few poems I've actually found funny. I can believe this poem was meant to be funny, but I can't really say the same for the rest. Okay, next one. Next poem is called Boom. Damn. Can you guys see that? It's a picture of a woman with a bomb where her heart should be. Ooh, damn. I actually like this one too. In this poem, she's essentially asking a doctor to defuse the bomb in her chest. She says she knows what the numbers mean. She's running out of time and is about to be blown to smithereens. But the ticking is making her anxious. So she wants the doctor to defuse the bomb, even though that means she will die. I actually love this metaphor. The metaphor of her heart being a bomb, because for a good metaphor to work, the subject of it has to be pretty accurate and have a lot of similarities to the thing it's being compared to. Just like a heart and a bomb. They both tick. They're technically both counting down to our death. And when your heart races, it feels like it's gonna explode right out of your chest. I actually think this is pretty creative. I mean, it might not be the most unique metaphor, but I think it works really well. Plus, it has good rhymes, good vocabulary, and I didn't think Gabbie could do it, but she's actually shown a different sort of rhyming scheme than what she uses usually. So her writing skills aren't as bad as I thought. Also, it's a really good length as well. It's like perfect. One of my favorite things about this, I think, is that she's written the poem as if she's speaking to a doctor, just like the psychologist poem. But in this one, the way Gabbie speaks to the doctor is like the complete opposite of the other one. Gabbie is so polite in this one. And that's one of my favorite things about this. I just find it so interesting that she is in this potentially life-threatening situation, yet is being so damn polite. Like, if I had a bomb stuck in my chest, I would not give a damn about manners and etiquette. I'd be like, get this thing out of me now. It's like she doesn't care at all that she's about to die. That is definitely getting a point. Ooh, the next poem is called, The whole thing says, I wonder what dying feels like. You too? I'll let you know when I find out. Oh wait, I get the joke, you know? Obviously if Gabbie's dead, she can't come back and tell us what dying feels like. However, I just feel like this is a little bit pointless. Like, why did Gabbie write this? What did she hope to achieve with this poem? I don't think it was much. So, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to take that point back. Next one is called Host. God is a gracious host, but he isn't too polite to let you know when you've overstayed your welcome and when it's time to leave the party. I actually think Gabbie's right. God can be funny like that. I'm not even kidding. Was that meant to be just a helpful reminder? Is that what Gabbie's gonna tell her kids? I'm tempted to. Moving on. Next one's called Catfish. Oh my god, and it literally has a picture of two catfish. A male one and a female one. Oh, but this is talking about like the online type of catfish. You know, like Catfish, the MTV show. This is talking about how two people met online on a dating site, except the girl wanted to be 20 pounds lighter and the guy wanted to be 10 years younger. So they played pretend and made themselves out to be these things. But it turns out when they finally met, they were perfect for each other. Y'all can probably guess why. Stuff like this happens way too much these days. I am on a lot of online dating sites and I've definitely had some unique experiences, let's say. But thankfully I haven't been fully catfished. Oh my days. One of my pet peeves about online dating is that 90% of the time, guys don't want an actual relationship. They just want to Meanwhile, I, on the other hand, do want an actual relationship. It gets so tedious talking to hundreds of guys only to find that 90 of those guys only care about themselves and only want to use me. Another type of guy I can't stand is guys that are obsessive. Don't even get me started. I actually met another YouTuber on an online dating site and he was the epitome of those clingy, desperate, obsessive boys. That's a story time waiting to happen. I might as well say it. When I hit 1,000 starlets, I'm gonna start doing story times. I have too many stories. That is definitely one that I will be telling. Almost dating a YouTuber who was obsessed with me. This was before I started YouTube. And oh my god, he was so obsessed, he made fan edits of me. When I haven't even started my channel. I had to reject him 4 times before he got the message. And even after the 4th time, he still didn't want to believe it. God, I dodged a bullet. Anyway, if you guys want to hear that story, I will be more than happy to make that video when we hit 1,000 starlets. If that ain't incentive to subscribe now, I don't know what is. Yeah. Anyway, last poem, I think. This one is called Safe. The heck? I don't get this one, guys. Oh my days. It says, be careful, they warn. Be cautious, they say. If you keep living like this, you'll die one day. What the heck is Gabbie talking about? What? What does she mean if you keep living like this? Living like what? Who are these people saying be careful and be cautious? This has a picture as well. It's a bunch of hands, but they don't really say anything either. What the heck is this? You guys, this has never happened before. I've never been absolutely stumped by any of these poems. Why is it called Safe? Die from what? Oh my god, so many questions. I actually want to cry. So, just a couple of points. Gabbie, a little more detail, just a touch. You can't always assume that your readers will know what you mean. It's kind of like with writing characters. If you don't describe how they look, You can't expect your audience to know how they look if you didn't describe them in the slightest. There's literally no indication in this poem of what the actual topic is. I'm pretty sure all the other poems, no matter how fractured or how short they were, you could usually always tell what the topic was, at least. But in this case, I think this is the first poem that Gabbie has written about air. There's literally nothing here. It reminds me of people who talk loads but say nothing, you know? There's just no substance to this. Right. Anyway, that's where I'm gonna leave it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give that like button a little kiss and subscribe to become a Starlet. Don't forget to follow me on Snapchat, Instagram and Twitter. And if you have read something that has just left you shook beyond repair, let me know in the comments. I'll see you guys later. Bye.